welcome back to another vlog. This is Ducktales Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2, The Most Dangerous Game Night, and The Depths of Cousin Feathery. So Ducktales has been back for a while now, but just with one thing and another going on, didn't have a chance to do a vlog on it until now. So I'm starting watching the season. I appear to be about 6 episodes behind, but I figure I can catch up pretty quickly since I think it's on a hiatus right now. So, great! This was episodes 1 and 2 of the new season, and it's off to a pretty good start. It began with kind of a closing of a circle. What I mean here is that the famous giant stone ball chase scene from Indiana Jones is actually taken directly from a Donald Duck comic. So redoing that sequence in DuckTales is kind of a return to where it came from, which I thought was a very cute thing to pull. I don't feel so great about, they're still doing the whole raiding ruined temples for treasures thing. That probably belongs to someone that they're stealing it from. But, systemic issue endemic to the genre. And we've talked about that before. Similarly, the treatment of the Gyropudlians was not great. Again, it's better than using a real culture, but just the whole concept of the primitive culture that fall into worshipping the advanced white people as gods, and then treacherously turn on them, and blah, 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 blah. Even when it's not aimed at a specific culture, so you can't really call, or even a specific group of cultures or set of stereotypes, so it's hard to call it racist precisely, it's still pretty racist. It's very imperialist. And racism is just imperialist bullying, really, when it comes down to it. They go hand in hand. The one bit I did really like was Gyro saying, "Conquer, I mean explore." Because, yeah, the so-called age of exploration was an age of conquest. That's what imperialism is all about. European countries historically don't do exploration. They do conquest and exploitation. They don't just visit places. They want something out of it. That's not true of every culture. There were actual explorers, for example, in Polynesia for centuries. People traveling from island to island, learning how to get from island to island, navigating by the stars, solitary journeys with no conquest involved. Maybe sometimes some trade, but often not even that, because you couldn't fit a ton of stuff in a one-person craft. Other cultures have done similar things, It's a very imperial idea that exploration and culture are the same thing. So it was nice that the episode at least called that out. Otherwise, it was nice having a Louis-centric episode where Louis mostly didn't come off as a jerk. I haven't exactly been secret about him being my least favorite character. He's, and really Scrooge sums up exactly why. He's always looking for the angles, always looking for shortcuts, always trying to manipulate things to his advantage. He's a jerk. And Scrooge tries to position that as a positive character trait because, of course, it's how Scrooge became a billionaire. And, he says to Louis, keep that up and someday you might be a bigger billionaire than I am. And yeah, if he inherits Scrooge's fortune and continues to grow it, he probably will be. But that's not actually a good thing. Nobody gets to be a billionaire by, being a decent human being. That's not actually how that works. So yeah, Louis does kind of suck. But seeing him knowingly acting out of insecurity actually kind of gave me some sympathy for him. So well done on that front, episode. The second episode, I liked it. I liked it because they presented Feathery as this kind of stereotypically crazy character, which is something I hate. The depiction of mental illness in cartoons is terrible. I mean, in pop culture in general, but it's particularly bad in cartoons. And that kind of goes as doubly bad because, of course, these are shaping children's ideas of what these things are and what they look like. But he's not. He's just weird. And I like that they make that point and really hammer it home. And yeah, Dewey is also weird. That's not a bad thing, And he and Feathery have a lot in common. And that's okay. I like that they even more, it's a little about him being a janitor. Like, okay, janitors don't get paid that great to my knowledge, but civilization would freaking fall apart without them. Not quite as quickly as it would fall apart without garbage collectors, which is why garbage collectors actually make pretty solid money. Well, between that and the fact that their job is dangerous as hell. Because, people throw out stuff that contains both rotting food and shards of glass in the same bag. You cut yourself on that glass, you need to get to the emergency room quick. They deal with literal biohazards on a regular basis. But still, without janitors, yeah, civilization will just kind of fall apart. There's not a ton of jobs you can say that about. Civilization would not fall apart without billionaires. It honestly wouldn't fall apart without scientists. Much of a fan of scientists as I am. We could chug along without them. We would need people who understood how technology worked in order to keep it in repair, but we wouldn't actually need anybody with the know-how to come up with new stuff or to do the research. We could just keep rolling along with what we have. I'm not advocating for doing that, but, we wouldn't die. Possibly without medical researchers we would, because, we're constantly breeding new strains of bacteria. But, point stands, there's not a ton of jobs that society would collapse without. The people who clean up the messes, the people who fix stuff, medical field, doctors, nurses, medical researchers, and teachers. That's kind of about it. Everybody else, people perform roles, but the world doesn't fall apart without them. The world does not fall apart without, middle managers. The economic system does. But civilization could have gotten to that. So, I'm a little on them being like, oh no, a janitor, the lowest form of human being. But, he at least still gets to be pretty cool. He gets to show that he is actually pretty knowledgeable about this world. He knows how to deal with things in it. And much of his weird behavior is actually him adapting to this weird environment. And that's really cool. So, yeah. 2 decent episodes. Neither jumped out as being astoundingly stunning. Neither gave me a ton of stuff to be like, oh, that was terrible. They were just 2 good, solid episodes, and I enjoyed them. I think that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Patreon for early access to vlogs, essays, let's plays, and more. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!